What is going on, wonderful world? Thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. The only station giving you double the information and inspiration. You are listening to The Connected Reloaded, and I am your host, Cello Effect. Follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn at Cello Effect across the board. That is CELOAFFECT. If you have any questions, thoughts, would like advertisement, sponsorship, or to be a guest interview on The Connected Reloaded, definitely reach out. You can also email me at theconnectedreloaded@gmail.com. And we would love to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor at Purium Health Products, at iShopPurium.com and iSharePurium.com. The quality of food you eat equals the quality of life you live. Create permanent, lasting change with the ultimate lifestyle transformation that will flood your body with organic superfood, nutrition, vegan protein, and superior gut health. Nourish, detoxify, and rejuvenate your cells and your system. Feel amazing and become the best version of yourself. Tune in today and use referral code CELOEFFECT for the loyal customer discount. Before we get into today's topic, let's do a quick recap of what we discussed last week. For the ones that tuned in and for the ones that are tuning into my YouTube channel at Cello Effect, we were talking about living life with a chronic illness and also an introduction to my story dealing with FSGS, focal segmental glomerulosclerosis, and stage 5 kidney disease. As you can imagine, so much has happened through my life the last 22 plus years. And that was just the introduction, a slice of the pie of how I got to where I'm at now. And I wanted to open up that discussion because I know I get so many emails and so many messages from people all over the world with their family members, their children, their friends that are starting dialysis or they're starting the process of getting into the kidney transplant world. There's so much that we can do when it comes to health and wellness and really transforming our lives. So that's one of the main reasons why I decided with this topic for today's show, we are going to discuss how we can manage anxiety, how we can control stress and reduce inflammation within the body. One thing that I've learned over the years of being on many different type of narcotics, antidepressants, benzodiazepines for anxiety, although they put me in a very weird state, they did reduce the anxiety. They did reduce the stress at the cost of what? Because being on these hardcore type of medications long periods of time is not good in the long run for your body and also the receptors within the brain, the GABA receptors, the melatonin or the pineal gland, the different type of receptors that we have within the brain that help us to fall asleep naturally or really control these type of things. So after years of praying and asking doctors if there was another way, because I did not like how I felt. I didn't like how these medications were just turning me into some type of zombie. After I didn't really receive the answers I was looking for, because all I kept running into was, we just need to find a different medicine. We just need to keep trying out different pills. And, you get to a point where it's like, I had enough pills, enough medicine. There has to be a natural way. There has to be something that we can do naturally to taper me off these hardcore benzodiazepines and hardcore narcotics and antidepressants, because I don't like how it's making me feel. And when I didn't really find the answer with the Western medical system, I went the more natural, holistic approach and researching. Google is your friend, my people. I'm telling you, YouTube is your friend. If you have questions, research, search, and research some more until you find the answers. And that's exactly what I did for years. And I came across this yogi named Acharya Shri Yogoshi. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But this man, this yogi, helped me in so many ways, because one of his videos, which was titled Breathing Techniques for Yoga, Meditation, Relaxation, Anxiety Control, and Stress, and just so many different other things, it fascinated me. Because in the video, he was describing that if you practice these breathing exercises consistently, after a period of time, after about 21 days to about a month, let alone 3 months, you will be able to control and manage your anxiety. And that was just like a breath of fresh air, no pun intended, because it really gave me hope. It really gave me hope that, okay, if I just program my mind to discipline myself and do this no matter what, I'm like, okay, well, at least I can do that. I know that, sometimes I don't feel so good to go to the gym and exercise or go on a jog or run. And many people feel like this, especially when you're at a stage where you don't feel so good. But if we can switch that around and really say, okay, you know what? Even if I'm in a wheelchair, even if I'm in my dialysis chair, I know I can at least breathe. I'm not going to have to work out. I don't got to, do all this extra stuff, but I can breathe. And then that was something that I really did focus on. And that's what it is. So when we come back, we will continue the discussion on controlling anxiety, managing stress through pranayama breathing. And in our next segment, we will have a demonstration. So we strongly urge you, if you're going to practice with us and engage, do not do this while you're driving or if you're in a pool or anything like that. You can lay down, sit down, but definitely find a quiet place and tune in. Tune into the Connected Reloaded and to yourself. Once again, you are listening to the Connected Reloaded, and I am your host, Cello Effect, in full effect. You're tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. We'll be right back after the break. Under the vast umbrella that is Cello Effect LLC, we specialize in and have influence from music, consulting, coaching, to health and wellness being our main focus. Truly transform your lifestyle to experience the best version of yourself with our 30-day gut reset program. Visit www.celloeffect.com or ishopperium.com. Use referral code CelloEffect for a $50 discount. What's happening, my people? Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. And a big shout out to those streaming live through the free TuneIn Radio app, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. You are listening to The Connected Reloaded, and I am your host, Cello Effect, and we are in full effect. If you're just tuning in, we were discussing how to manage, control anxiety, and reduce inflammation and stress within the body. We are now about to get into a 10 to 11 minute segment of breathing exercises. And I strongly urge you, if you're going to join us on this, find a quiet place where you can close the door, turn the music off, turn the TV off, lay down, sit down. And again, do not be driving, or if you're in a pool or anything like that, don't do this type of exercise. This is very powerful and very potent, and something that we can do in our daily life to truly upgrade, raise our frequency, and really manage the stress that we feel day to day. So without any further ado, we will begin the practice known as the Wim Hof breathing method. What you're going to do is find a quiet place, laying down or sitting down again, and we're going to strictly be breathing through our mouth, keeping the focus on our body and on our breath. So we'll deeply breathe like this. Release. We're going to do about 30 of those breaths for 2 rounds. Without any further ado, let's begin.
Breathing techniques with cello effect.
Level 2. With your mind, follow your breath.
Fully in through the mouth.
Last one, fully in.
And slowly out. Now hold your breath for 1 minute. Recovery breath in and keep it for 15 seconds. Release. Good. Good. Round 2. With your mind, follow the breath. Fully in. Last one, fully in.
And slowly out.
Hold your breath for 1:30. Recovery breath in. And hold for 15 seconds. Release. Good. Good. You're doing amazing.
And that is the Wim Hof breathing method. If you took the time to quiet your mind, listen to your body, I know that you feel calm. I know that you feel that deep tranquility. Stay in this zone for the next 3 to 5 minutes. Really assess your body and pay attention to how you feel. After the break, we will continue our discussion on controlling anxiety, managing stress and depression through pranayama breathing and different esoteric breathing practices. You are tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. Don't go anywhere because we will be right back after the break. Under the vast umbrella that is Cello Effect LLC, we specialize in and have influence from music, consulting, coaching, to health and wellness being our main focus. Truly transform your lifestyle to experience the best version of yourself with our 30-day gut reset program. Visit www.celloeffect.com or ishopperium.com. Use referral code CelloEffect for a $50 discount. What is up, my beautiful savages? Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. And a big shout out to those streaming live through the free TuneIn Radio app, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. You are listening to The Connected Reloaded, and I am your host, Cello Effect, in full effect. If you're just tuning in, we were having an amazing discussion on the benefits of breathing and how to control and manage anxiety through pranayama breathwork, Wim Hof, and different breathing practices. This is a great way to reduce inflammation in the body and really manage stress. We've been discussing and also showing you different examples of how to achieve this. If you missed today's show, check out my social media at Cello Effect YouTube. That's CELOAFFECT. Now I would love to share with you this author, phenomenal human being named James Nestor. He has one of the New York bestsellers book called Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art. We are going to listen to this excerpt from YouTube where he talks about the importance of breath work and breathing, because it's definitely something that we need to shed more light on and talk about more. Because what I have learned over the years of me just obsessing and educating and becoming just well versed in this area, most people don't know how to breathe correctly and don't breathe correctly. Without any further ado, once again, just listening to James Nestor speak about breath. And a big shout out to the YouTube channel, The Outcome.
Their symptoms were rapidly reduced by a profound level, even within a year later, after 4 weeks of this training. So this is what happens when the body comes into a state of homeostasis, where it's able to do what it's supposed to do. Just look at the top 20 maladies affecting the mass population right now. Metabolic problems, diabetes, anxiety issues, hypertension. I mean, I can keep going. Gut problems, GERD, anxiety, panic, asthma. They're all related to the ways in which you breathe. That's not to say all of these conditions are caused by improper breathing, but the reason why we have them has been a contributor to poor breathing, especially in sleep apnea, which we know is can cause metabolic problems like diabetes, which to me just completely blew my mind. But if you think about breathing as the anchor to all of the different systems to the body, especially inflammation, and if you're doing that improperly 25,000 times a day, your body is going to compensate, because we're really good at doing that. You're going to stay alive, but you're not going to stay healthy. And that's exactly what's happened to us right now. I mean, just sleep apnea and snoring alone, people think it's cute that there's an infant snoring, or that, my husband snores, I gotta sleep on the couch. This is someone who's struggling to breathe during a third of his or her life. If you don't think that's gonna have a downstream effect on their health, you're crazy. And so much science is now coming out showing that. Even though we've known it for 50 years, You'd be hard pressed to find a researcher who says that's not going to affect your health in some big ways. You get a book on pranayama. There's 300 different ways of breathe, all with these crazy names. Like, where do I start? I just try to focus on the umbrella items here, right? You're going to want to breathe slowly. You're going to want to breathe through your nose. You're going to want to breathe less. Many of us are going to want to breathe less to get more. And, you're going to want to chew your food. That's a whole other thing because that can help open up your airway. But Patrick McEwen, pretty well-known breathing therapist, told me this, which totally blew my mind. He found studies where people who breathe at a rate of about 20 breaths a minute, so the average, what's considered normal, is 12 to 18 breaths a minute. So 20 breaths a minute is maybe even on the low end for populations with anxiety and asthma. All they're doing is bringing air here and getting it out. That means they can only use 50% of that air, okay? Because they're filling up their throats, they're filling up their mouths, they're filling up the bronchus. All of these areas can't participate in gas exchange. So they're just wasting air, bringing it in, bringing it out. Only 50% at that rate when you're taking it 6 liters a minute. If you slow that down to 12 breaths per minute, you're taking in 70%, okay? That's how much more efficient you are. 20% difference. Incredible. If you breathe at a rate of 6 breaths a minute, you have an 85% efficiency in your breathing. So that's how much more oxygen you're going to be able to get, which means you can breathe less while getting more oxygen, which again that's the key, whether or not you're sitting on a couch and want to recover, or whether or not you're really working out. Because if you're breathing in lines with your metabolic needs, that means you're going to have that much more energy to go even further. If your heart rate is lower at states of zone 3, zone 4, whatever, then you can push your heart rate even more, go further and farther. And I say 5.5 because it's easy to remember. 5.5 inhale, 5.5 exhale, 5.5 breaths a minute. That's how it all works out. So when we do this, we are allowing just the right amount of oxygen to come in at just the right amount of time with the least effort. So that's why the heart rate will slow down. That's why circulation will increase. And our bodies want this. To constantly be pushing our bodies, especially in states of recovery, is a bad idea. So I think that general gauge, and we've seen this in studies where they've taught people with panic and asthma who traditionally breathe way too much. I'm talking off the charts, 20 breaths a minute through the mouth. The only intervention they had them do was slow down their breathing, and their symptoms were rapidly reduced by a profound level, even within a year later, after 4 weeks of this training. So this is what happens when the body comes into a state of homeostasis where it's able to do what it's supposed to do.
It's all in the breath, my people. It is all in the breath. This is a topic that I love so much because it really did help me to control the anxiety, to get off of 2 different benzodiazepines, Xanax, Klonopin, 5 different blood pressure medicines, and manage my stress and inflammation in my body by tapping into the vagus nerve and calming down the system. So we will definitely be talking about this in future episodes. If you enjoyed this content, let me know. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Continue to tune in every Friday at 9:30 a.m. And please remember to connect with me by going to WDRB Media. Click on the radio show tab and go to where you see the spot in the timeline for Cello Effect, the Connected Reloaded. Also, if you would like to be a guest on the show or want free advertisement, you can reach out to me at theconnectedreloaded@gmail.com. or reach out on IG, TikTok, again, YouTube. Just send me a message. Let me know where you heard me, and let's keep it going. Let's keep talking about these important topics that need this type of exposure, to be honest. And if you would like to collaborate and have Cello Effect me, Marcelo Antonio Peña, as a guest speaker, because I am a certified breathing instructor with Pranayama breathwork, a level 1 meditation teacher. And so let's get it. We over here just changing lives and helping people with these practices, because they can and they will. It's up to you to be consistent and disciplined in actually doing them. So once again, my lovely, lovely people, you have been listening to The Connected Reloaded. I am your host, Cello Effect, in full effect on WDRB Media, the voice of the community. The only station giving you double the information, for real, and inspiration, for real. We'll be right back next week. Same time, same lineup on WDRB Media. Until next week, my friends, continue to be blessed. Much love, always.